One of the three white men convicted of murdering Ahmaud Arbery, Travis McMichael, he received a second life sentence just moments ago over federal hate crime charges.
McMichael, his father Greg, and William Roddie Bryan were found guilty in February of interference with rights, which is a federal hate crime, and attempted kidnapping in connection to the killing of 25-year-old black man Ahmaud Arbery. NBC News correspondent Ron Allen is following the latest outside the courthouse in Brunswick, Georgia. Look, Ron, you've been there since this event happened. You were following this trial. Explain how the sentences today are different from the previous life sentences the men received just earlier this year.
The difference is that this is a federal conviction, federal sentencing, and they are already serving time, life in prison, in a state court. And what was unusual about this hearing today was that it was mostly about where they would serve these life sentences as opposed to how long the sentences would be. The defense was arguing strenuously that going to state prison, that being in state prison for these two defendants, for the McMichaels and for William Bryan, for that matter, for all three of them, but we expect the argument to come later this afternoon, is that it's dangerous for them. It's life-threatening. Travis McMichael's attorney said that him going to state prison was the equivalent of what she called a backdoor death penalty for him because there's so much hatred. She said there have been hundreds, thousands of threats directed against McMichael in state prison, and that if he goes there, he probably won't survive. For their part, the government said essentially that these defendants deserve no special treatment, regardless of who they are and regardless of what's happened. They should go to state prison, and the law says that the first entity to convict, in this case, the state of Georgia, is where the prisoner serves their time. Ahmaud Arbery's family certainly wanted them to stay in state prison. They didn't want the defendants to be able to pick where they could go and be in the prison system of their choosing. Again, the basic difference is that the federal system is thought to be safer, more comfortable, if that's an appropriate word, than the state prison system. So that's what a lot of this argument was about today, and we expect more of that when we hear the sentencing hearing of Gregory McMichael this afternoon, and then William Roddie Bryant, the third man, later this afternoon as well.
So, Ron, despite the federal conviction, he will remain in state prison. Clarify that. And also, has the Arbery family, Ahmaud's family, have they reacted yet to this new sentence?
They haven't reacted yet. We expect to hear from them shortly. They're outside the courtroom now, taking a break between hearings. It's a grueling and very emotional day for them. Again, this case has been such a powerful case, such an emotional case for the family, for this community, for the country, for that matter, as well. To clarify, they are serving time. The McMichaels and William Bryan are serving time in state prison now, a life sentence. That's what they get. Bryan has the possibility of parole after a number of decades. Unlikely he will ever be paroled, however. That's the distinction. That's where they are now in state prison. They were trying to be moved to federal prison. The judge sentenced them to life in federal prison and refused to make the switch, which is what the defendants wanted and what the family did not want. So, again, the Arbery family is getting what they want out of this process. They're getting justice, I think they would say. But, of course, none of this brings their son back.
You know, Ron, you've covered this community, not just the trial, but the community since it happened. And you watch the reaction. You watch people's heartbreak. You see, black community leaders. We just saw an image there of Reverend Jesse Jackson coming in. And you talked about sort of the tremors of fear and injustice that this community felt. Does this sentence make any difference for them, for the people who are watching this trial there in Georgia?
We'll have to ask people what they think about that. I don't think that this sentence of life in prison was a big surprise. I think most people expected it, frankly. And I think most people feel like it's appropriate. And I think also that it's going to take some time for this community to get past all this.
Right.
Because it still sears very much in the consciousness of this community.
All right. NBC's Ron Allen for us there, Brunswick, Georgia. Ron, thank you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.